let's have a little talk about stress and how stress takes its toll on our mental health and our entire life, if you really think about it. Here's a very troubling statistic, and this is from the American Psychological Association. They estimate that 75 to 90% of all doctor visits are for stress related complaints. Think about that for a minute. 75 to 90% of all doctors' visits are for stress related complaints. Stress related. Now, the Insurance Journal says that about 1 in 5 Americans, which is about 65 million people, are on a prescribed medication to help them cope with stress, anxiety, or depression. 1 in 5 people are taking medications. I can promise you, the human body and the human mind was not created to be on prescription medications for mental health. Now, this is not to place judgment on anybody using them. They have their place, but certainly not for 1 in every 5 people. They don't. Now, why is this? Well, I'll give you a couple reasons why. We take in as much information in one day as my grandparents took in a year. So think about that. Think about what that does. We are basically getting bombarded every single day between what we see in the outside world, from billboards to traffic, to sounds, to noises, to social media, to our devices, computers. We are constantly taking in information, even when you're not realizing it, even just driving in a car. Most of us have our radios on. At the same time, we're talking to someone. At the same time, we're looking down the street. We're seeing billboards. We're seeing other cars. We're making decisions. There are so many things we are doing at once all of the time that we've lost the ability to be still, to be in the present moment. But most importantly, many of us have lost the ability to disconnect and find that internal peace. So what do? We turn to prescriptions. We turn to addictive behaviors. We turn to dysfunctional behaviors to cope. The world is now becoming, addicted to dopamine, to instant gratification, to always having stimulation, which really is overstimulation. It's too much. Now, our subconscious minds are brilliant. We can adapt and we can learn to cope with all of these things. But unless we learn to cope in a healthy way, our subconscious minds will try to protect us. So if we're stressed, if we are having anxiety, well, it will try to create even more anxiety to keep us out of situations that are anxiety producing. Many people develop things like agoraphobia because the outside world is just too much input. So the subconscious mind starts shutting you down. If you are outside feeling overwhelmed, well, it must be because of this. It must be because of that. It must be because of the job. Here's a statistic that really bothered me and really hit home. The most common day for heart attacks is Monday. Well, I think it's not hard to figure out why. That's the day we go back to work after a long weekend. That's the day most people complain about. Well, after years of complaining about having to do something that you are feeling stress and anxiety over, well, the subconscious mind starts to solve that problem. Well, if you have a heart attack, well, then you can't go to that stressful situation in your life. So if you think about your life and the things that are bothering you, the things that are making you anxious, the things that are getting amplified in you, the negative thoughts and the negative behaviors, they are all the way our subconscious mind tries to deal with stress. It tries to serve us. Now, how do we combat that? How do we change that so we don't have to live our lives on medication? Well, we have to learn to disconnect. We have to learn to reset. We must learn self-care. The number one way to practice self-care is guided meditation, or meditation in general. And guess what the most powerful form of guided meditation is? Well, that's hypnotherapy. Exactly. We need meditation in our lives. We have to reset our mind so that our subconscious mind can healthily let go of stress, which will healthily let go of anxiety, will overcome depressed feelings, depressed thoughts, and our whole lives will become better in every single way. Our mental health, our physical health. Along with meditation, there is exercise. We have to literally exercise the stress hormones out of our body. And if you are not really a fitness person, this can be as simple as walking. But a physical activity that releases stress in your body. That is what we must do. We have to get rid of the adrenaline, the cortisol, the stress hormones in our body so we can truly relax and reset. Meditation is the best way to reset and to get back to feeling grounded and centered. And then, once we do that, we can work on making the changes in your life that need to be made so that you can create a happier, more fulfilling life for yourself. But I really want you to pay attention to how stress alone is literally robbing you from joy in your life, creating issues in our body, creating disease, creating disharmony, and destroying our mental health. It doesn't have to be this way. There are so many cases, so many emails and testimonials that I have of people that consistently do the sessions in the HypnoVault, that connect to the guided meditations that I offer, and they're off the medications. Their stress levels are gone. They can now cope with life, with stress, with anxiety in a healthy way. So they no longer need to be on medications. And then we create a healthy pattern of self-care in your life through diet, eating healthier foods, exercising, and doing a regular, consistent practice of meditation. Meditation is the opposite of stress. Meditation is the opposite of anxiety. Meditation is for your mental health. So disconnect. Use meditation. Even if you haven't done it before, I'll guide you. That's the whole point. That's why the HypnoVault exists, to help you with your mental health. And it is the most inexpensive, effective way that anyone can take part in creating a beautiful practice of mental health in your life. So don't let stress rule your life anymore. Don't be a statistic. Don't be one of the 1 in 5 that is on medications because they haven't committed to a routine of self-care for their mental health. If you have any questions, if you want to know more about meditation, hypnotherapy, and the HypnoVault, simply click on the link below.